646. All right, I want to know, I've got a few texts here, but I want to know what went on at this Hanover Republican meeting yesterday. I'm all over this thing as it relates to rigging the 97th nominating convention, which will be held at May 4th. That's Kentucky Derby Saturday, by the way, 10 a.m. at Hanover High School. I'm going to be covering it live, me and Saxman. Saxman, put it on your calendar. You have to be my co-host there. We're going to cover this live, this race between Scott Wyatt, this Hanover supervisor, and Chris Peace, the incumbent Republican House of Delegates member who single-handedly brought Colonial Downs back. That's why I'm supporting him so strongly. Plus, I don't like rigged conventions. I don't like conventions anyway. But the problem is you have a convention, then they all rig them because they can't help themselves. So we're going to get the scoop from one of Wyatt's enthusiastic supporters, Paul from Mechanicsville. Hey, Paul, you're on the air.
John, how you doing today? I would guess I'm the first one that have called in about the convention last night. So, anyway, and I know your position about rigging and not rigging and whatever else, and where the ball was dropped. But, I have this to say. I don't know how many Hanover Republican Party meetings you've been to, and you read a letter from somebody that called in and said she wasn't going to be able to vote for so-and-so or whatever else. Well, if you could get active and come to the Republican Party meetings, they're wide open for everybody. We have Democrats, we have Chris Pieces, we have Scott Wyatt. All of them come to those meetings. So, come on in, get active, and find out what's going on and make your vote counted there. So, I have a quick fact sheet document, and you won't believe who prepared this document when I finish. All right, this is 4 things on Chris Peace's voting record, okay? This is why we're so adamant about making this move. Anyway, voted to expand Obamacare. Shove on Senator Donovan.
Wait a minute.
Senator
He didn't
Senator
vote.
McDougal,
He didn't
no.
vote.
Senator Tommy Norman, no. Senator Delegate Buddy Fowler, no. Delegate Chris Peace, yes. All right, now this is.
He didn't vote. He didn't vote to it.
Parenthood.
Paul, you can't make things up.
Donovan, no. McDougal, no. Norman, no. Buddy Fowler, no. Chris Peace, yes. Okay.
Yes on what?
Spending.
Yes on what?
11% increase in a single budget. No for Donovan. No for McDougal. No for Norman. No for Fowler. Yes for him. Higher taxes. All those are no again, except for Chris Peace. Chris Peace has voted with the Democrats 67% of the time. We're tired of it. So you can call it rigged, you can call it whatever you want to call it, but how many Hanover Republican Party meetings have you come to?
I don't live in Hanover. Why should I go to your meeting?
That's correct. So why are you trying to influence it?
I'm not because I cover
in Hanover.
Because I cover this state of Virginia and I cover the 97th district. And I've worked with Chris Peace on Colonial Downs, and he did an excellent job. Now, look,
that's correct. I don't have a problem with what he did.
I have told you.
I have a problem with all his other votes, and we've lived with him for 13 years. We took a group of us, went down to his offices in the General Assembly to meet with him one time. He wouldn't even see us. Okay, so we're fed up. You can call it any way you want. Dale Taylor dropped the ball. Scott Wyatt told her twice and in writing a third time that he was going to run. So you can call all this rig, this, that, whatever else you want, but that's part of the process, a primary or convention.
First of all, you're saying that Dale Taylor lied? Your chairman? She lied because she...
Yes, I'm saying that Dale Taylor erroneously should have removed him when he said the first and second times verbally and in writing. He should have been removed at that time. Okay, that's the facts. You may not like them, but that's the facts.
Well, then you're calling your chairman of the Republican Party of Hanover County of the committee, Dale Taylor.
Got that right. Yes, I guess
you're saying that
you're saying there's a whole lot of us saying the same thing, and I like Dale Taylor, liked her for a long, long time.
But you're saying she lied. She put out a statement, and you said she lied in the statement. That's what you're saying. I'm
saying that she dropped the ball in knowing the semantics of it. You can call it a lie if you'd like to, but she, being relatively new in that position, didn't understand her obligation to tell Scott. But Scott advised her that he was running. We all knew it in Hanover. We want to get rid of Chris Peace, and we're going to get rid of Chris Peace.
Well, why don't you?
If it's not this time, it's next time.
Why don't you do it in a legitimate way? What bothers me, and I've told you this, Paul, before, I'm not going to sit here and debate the ideological reasons for Scott Wyatt or Chris Peace. You guys in The 97 district voters have a right to do what they want.
Correct.
What I object to is the way you went about this to cheat and rig the system to ensure victory because you couldn't beat him in a legitimate primary. So then Dale Taylor says, Dale Taylor says,
correct. We
your chairman said
to run, and we had to do it whichever way we could. We were big supporters of Dave Bratt. We did.
Why don't you have a primary like everybody else?
You can't get rid of somebody that's wired in. If they are big enough people and intelligent enough to term limits for themselves, that's a big issue for us too.
What does term limits have to do with this?
Whitman. Chris Peace doesn't come to our meetings.
What does term limits have to do? What does term limits have to do with this? If you
He's
want
been there 13 years.
Why
he can vote 67% of the time with the Democrats.
Then beat him in a primary. Why are you the only district that has a convention? The only one. Why don't you have a primary like everybody else?
We've had primaries before, and he's been elected in primaries before.
Well, this time you changed it. You changed it to a convention to benefit your candidate, Scott Wyatt, who's a Hanover chairman, who was on the committee, who leveraged his power to get the convention, and then Dale Taylor, the committee chairman of Hanover, she's the chairperson that you guys in your great meetings voted for, and she fired him from that position and said that he never told her that he was a candidate when he was trying to get the convention. So now you're saying that Dale Taylor lied.
But that's not accurate. It's in writing.
Well, you better show it to me then. Show it to me.
Okay.
Email it to me.
We'll show it to you when you come May 4th. If you're going to come there
I'm coming.
And be unbiased and just report like you said you are.
Me and Saxman are going. I'm for peace. There's no question. Let me make.
You're giving Chris Peace free advertising.
Let me make it clear.
That's your prerogative.
So what?
Okay?
Let me make it clear.
You to advertise for Scott Wyatt.
I'm for Chris Peace,
and we have ample reason to want that change. And you have every right. You have Boyd Marcus yesterday, and all the lies that were told is nuts.
There were no lies. You have every right to change
Boyd
your nominee,
but
do it
legit. Okay. From Henrico County.
What's the difference where you're from? Why are you guys caught up on this? Let me just ask you this.
Because the 97th district.
He's the guy.
They're poking their nose in our district.
No, he's not. He's
his
campaign consultant. What planet are you coming from, Paul? The guy's his campaign consultant.
I know what he is.
What's the difference where he lives?
He's a paid consultant for Chris Peace.
So what?
Why don't they come to our meetings? If you want to make a change, attend meetings. Come out there and let your opinion be heard.
Okay, all right.
Meetings.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna go with that, Paul. Okay, come to the meetings. So let me see.
Come to one.
So 300 Chris Peace delegates went to your meeting last night. They got in their car, they started it up, they took their night, they went to your great meeting, your great Hanover meeting. They went, and you know what you guys did? You disenfranchised them and made them alternate delegates and threw their vote out because they were Chris Peace delegates, rather than do what everybody else does, which is if there's 100 delegates allotted. Let me finish. Don't filibuster.
That is not accurate. Everybody there had a vote. Okay. Everybody, there was hundreds and hundreds, I don't know what, 700 people or whatever else. Everybody there had a card to vote. Everybody's vote was counted. If you wanted to vote for Chris Peace, you could vote for Chris Peace. You held up your card, and your vote was counted row by row. If you wanted to vote for Scott Wyatt, it was held up. You got a chance to hold your card up for Scott Wyatt. And that's the way it went down. It went down as a vote. We didn't tell all those people that came for Chris Peace to go on home.
Yes, you did. You know what, Paul? Stop lying on the radio. That is exactly what you guys did. You disenfranchised Chris Peace voters that went out there last night, came to the meeting that you're telling everybody to be at. They came to the meeting, and you disenfranchised them by making them wait a minute. By making them alternate delegates. You made them alternates, which means they have no vote because you had the power to do that. Everyone else just
made us alternates in New Kent County.
Well, they shouldn't. They shouldn't have done that either. You know what? Why don't you stop worrying about what some consultant does and do the right thing? These people came there to that meeting, and instead of seating everybody as a delegate in that convention, you took a bunch of them and you disenfranchised them and basically said, you don't have a vote, you're an alternate. Where in
John,
many other conventions, everybody can vote.
Happened in New Kent County, but it was in reverse. All the Scott White people that went to New Kent, they were all disenfranchised, if that's what your word is. We lost in New Kent. They lost in Hanover.
Nobody is not seated in New Kent County. Everybody that came there can come and they can vote for their candidate. They didn't make people alternates. You guys made 300 people alternates.
Everybody that came there had an opportunity to be seated by way of a vote.
Yeah, come on. It's a backdoor slate, and you know it. It's a slate vote. Why don't you simply say, hey, thanks for coming. We love this turnout. 700 people here. Thank you for supporting the Hanover County Republican GOP. We love you guys. Thanks for coming.
Okay,
thank you for coming.
That's what Scott Wyatt said.
And then,
that's even what Chris Forrest
then why did you disenfranchise them?
But they all spoke.
Then why did you disenfranchise them?
You know what? The facts that I read you a minute ago about all those people, Obamacare, Planned Parenthood.
I don't really care. This is not an ideological debate.
Guess who paid for that great ad flyer that was there? Guess who paid for that? You wouldn't guess in a million years. It was paid by Tommy Norman. You
want to change the topic of this conversation. I am not debating whether or not you think Scott Wyatt is a better representative for you than Chris Peace. All I say is let the district's voters decide, not rig the thing. And the fact that you wouldn't allow these people to go to the convention on May 4th, which I will be covering with Chris Saxman, that you didn't allow them to go to the convention and cast their vote. And all it would have meant is that their vote, everybody's vote, would have been diluted. But everybody would have had an opportunity to vote. That's what normal committees do. You guys didn't do that.
Out of three. There are two other counties involved in that, and in New Kent County, the exact same thing happened to us that went there that were in favor of Scott Wyatt. We weren't slated.
There's no alternative. There's no alternate delegates in New Kent. Everybody in New Kent that filed gets to go to the convention. They have a vote. There's no alternates there. The only alternates are in Hanover.
That's the way they voted when you went there. Okay, that's the way they voted.
Well, they voted to seat everybody. They voted and said, "Hey, if you support Scott Wyatt, we don't care. We want you to come on May 4th. We want to enfranchise you. We want to empower you. And we want you to vote." Okay? You guys threw them out. Under the guise of making them alternate delegates.
Why are they going to come from New Kent? If you were there for Scott Wyatt at New Kent and you were told, okay, well, you can come, are you disenfranchised? Your vote,
you're disenfranchised at the convention.
In New Kent County.
Paul, you can't make your own facts up, dude. You're disenfranchised at the convention on May 4th. Just because you come to your committee meeting and get outvoted doesn't mean, okay, your vote counted. They went through the process. They went through all the process to become a delegate to that convention on May 4th in Hanover High School. They went through everything, and you threw them out.
Through King William County.
No, you threw them out, Paul. You threw them out.
Going to go on in all three of those counties.
You
Nobody
threw them out.
was told this, that, or whatever else. Your vote's not going to count and all that. Everybody came there. Their vote was counted.
But they don't count at the convention. I mean, that is like bait and switch. Okay, you get to go to the great Hanover Republican meeting, of which, by the way, you just said that your committee chairman told a lie in a public statement. That's what you just said. That's what you said. You're great.
I didn't say she lied. I said she misunderstood the process from the standpoint of details, okay? That's what happened. But she was notified. If you want to call that a lie, that's up to you.
Well, then show me the documentation on that.
But no problem. No problem whatsoever.
So why
I'll show you a bunch of documents.
So why are the members that filed to be a delegate that went to your meeting yesterday, why are 300 of them not able to cast their vote for their chosen candidate at the convention in Hanover High School at 10 a.m. on May 4th? Why?
Because that's the way the rules worked, and the rules were legal, okay? Ryan McDougal wasn't there with crooked rules. You know, all these
I don't care about Ryan McDougal. You guys are just
reasons.
you guys rigged. You guys rigged it.
Everybody there is stupid. Everybody there doesn't have the right to do what they're doing, and they all came and they could all hold their card up. Okay,
you rigged
every one of them, and they held plenty of Chris Peace people held their card up. Okay?
You rigged it. You rigged it, Paul.
And you may be a
keep
Chris
rigging
Peace
it
fan because of Colonial Downs.
Darn right I am.
Colonial Downs is minuscule compared to
no,
all
it isn't.
these other votes.
It might be minuscule to Paul in Mechanicsville, but it's not minuscule to the 1,500 people who have just got jobs there, Paul. That have jobs there. It's 1,500 jobs that he got. Come on, man.
Government out of my pocket, and Chris Peace doesn't get government out of my pocket.
Well, you want to do an ideological element. You could have done this
with the Democrats in the General Assembly. What are you?
You could have done this. You could have done this in a legit manner. And if you had all these facts and all these votes and piece this and piece that, you could have ran in a primary.
With Eric Cantor, you were all these people that are Eric Cantor people still upset over it.
What does that have to do? We're not talking about Eric Cantor. You're going back and fighting that battle from. Oh my goodness, Paul, that was 2014, man. Move on with life.
And one of the reasons we liked Dave Bratt so vehemently was because he term limited himself to all of us.
Well, I mean, I was for Dave in that race, but Dave beat him in a legit primary. It was legit. What you guys are doing is illegitimate. Look, I'm going to be there on May 4th.
We were accused of the same thing with Dave Bratt.
No, they weren't. It was a legitimate primary.
I went to the meeting at the hotel down at the West End.
You like meetings,
same
Paul.
Thing, the way Eric Cantor got slated out of being able for everybody to vote, to being able to run. You're not going to win. Republicans are not going to win when they keep pulling these shenanigans. Okay, you're just not. You hurt the party. You had all these people that came. You had all these people. Meetings and tell us that, okay?
No, I'm not going to. I don't live in Hanover. I cover it.
You know so much about it.
I know when people can't go to a convention and did the work and get thrown out, and their vote doesn't count. I know that.
The vote doesn't count when it's coming out of New Kent, and it won't count when it comes out of King William either. New
Kent committee.
Okay,
New Kent committee did not make a single person that filed a petition and turned out at that meeting an alternate delegate. Everyone will be seated on May 4th. Everyone will vote.
My wife is an alternate delegate for Scott Wyatt. Okay, what's going on is totally legal. Okay,
I didn't say it's not legal.
Within the rules.
Nobody said it's not legal.
It may not be in your rules.
No, I said it's rigging. I didn't say it was not in the rules. We have a lot of bad rules. That's why Republicans keep losing.
I don't disagree with that either. That's why I'm involved. That's why I got involved back with Dave Bratt.
All right, I got to go.
Get rid of Hurricane goes to town goes to D.C. worth $1 million too, and 16 years later he's worth 16+ million. His wife's worth millions too. That's the kind of people we want to get rid of in politics. Okay. So anyway,
I don't know what Eric Cantor's got to do. What does Eric? What does Eric Cantor have to do with you guys rigging a convention?
I'm the last person saying that he's doing that particular thing, But he has aspirations to move up the line, and he should vote what his constituents want, which we are a very conservative district. Ask Rob Whitman.
If you had a legit primary, I'd have no beef with the whole thing, right? No beef. Or if you had a legit convention and your guy that's running was not involved in changing the nominating process, I'd have no beef.
He was not. He knew it was Dale Taylor that misunderstood and didn't do it correctly. I'm telling you, that's what it was. Dale's basically a novice. If we'd had Russ Wright, we wouldn't have had all these problems. Russ turned it over to her, and all that happened. But, John, listen, let me tell you this. I appreciate all you do, okay, and we're kind of bottom lines, but I'm getting ready to go under the Norfolk Tunnel, and I won't be able to talk to you anymore. But thank you for what you do.
Stop rigging, Paul. Thank you. John Fredericks Radio Network.